Oh, it's a beautiful day here at Wilson Field in Orange, California. We've reached the halfway point mark between the men's soccer season, and the Panthers welcome in a tough matchup. The Claremont Mudscript Stags. Hello, welcome to the top floor of Wilson Field. Kind of windy up here, but we're excited for a good game. Both teams lost their last matchup. That's what makes this game so important. What are today's keys to the game?
Well, you know what, Justin, the keys to the game, I like to call them Cam's keys to the game. The first is win the possession battle. Now, what does that mean? Well, Laverne played Claremont last week, and Laverne single-handedly won the possession battle. They got the win. So if Chapman wants to win, they have to win the possession game. Next, convert on the chances you get. Chapman doesn't have a Messi or Ronaldo, that go-to MVP caliber player that they have. They have to use it as a team effort and score on every chance you get. And finally, outwork the other team. We know what a bye week does, Justin, in any sport. It helps you get rest, helps you play better. Chapman's had the last week off. If they want to win, they have to play 120% this game to look forward to the second part of the season.
These are the matchups that the Panthers have to win if they want to try to make the playoffs. And in these key games, it's always a senior that seems to step up.
That's right, and these two seniors are the leaders of the team. Marco Sanglabene on the Chapman side, he has 4 goals on the season on 14 shots, 8 points overall, including 2 game-winning goals. On the other side, Mehran Abdi, 3 goals this season, 19 career goals at Claremont. These two are the MVPs. They're the calibers of the team, and it's going to be a great matchup today to see how they play against each other.
Both teams really fighting for the playoff top 4. We send it down to Sabrina Santoro with more on that.
Thanks, guys. We've got our core players, Dan Friedman, Sam Rudick, Marco Sanglabene, and the rest of the senior class who have yet to win a championship game. In 2013, they just came up short of that title. In 2014, they actually did not make the final. They lost in the semis. And the same thing happened again just last year in a game against Laverne. So as you can see, it's been a very frustrating few seasons for the Panthers. And now they're currently in the 5th position in conference standings. They're on the outside looking in, just trying to get up into that 4th position to make it back to the semifinals. And today's a very important game. We're halfway through the season. They're playing against Claremont, who's already in the top 4, so you can bet that they're putting their game faces on today. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Sabrina. This should be a fun one here today. The Panthers won both matchups last season. Let's see if they can win the first of 2 matchups here this season. We'll see you after the break for the kickoff.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Welcome back here to Wilson Field. Panthers in their white uniforms, their all-white home jerseys. The Stags in their cardinal and gold tops with the black shorts. We get started here from Wilson Field. First ball goes here to the near side. Elliot Braun has it. He brings it back into the midfield. Let's go over today's starting lineups. First for the Chapman Panthers. Starting in goal, Sean Augustine, Marco Sanglabene, Kenan Kuhn in the back line. Freshman Jonah Tipp, senior Sam Rudick, Grant Fremerly going forward, Jared Mattioni, Elliot Braun, Lorenzo Bellison, Connor Tobia, and Zev Gallus are the 11 here for the Chapman Panthers in white. It's a homecoming game, so a lot of the parents are here today supporting their kids. Most of them are actually here in the shade. No one's really sitting in the sun in front of us.
Not at all.
Trying to take advantage. Gonna be a Chapman throw-in. Go to Sam Rudick. Let's go over Claremont Mudscripts. Starting 11. Number 2, Adam Singer. Number 3, Jacob Skoll. Isaiah Alba, a freshman who we're going to talk about a little bit later. Elijah Linchenberg. Alex Consulo. Michael Crowley. Aiden Johnson. Cole Mora. Mora Abdi. Patrick Perk. And Daniel Quee in goal for Claremont. Both teams, like we talked about during the pregame, fighting for a playoff position. Panthers in 5th place, currently in the standings now. Claremont sitting in 3rd. Top 4 teams make it to the SCIAC tournament, with the top 2 getting their home game in the opening round. Marco Sanglin-Benny. Back to Bellison. And puts it back to the back line. Connor Tobia is back in the starting lineup. Came back from a concussion a couple days ago against Caltech. Actually scored in his appearance back. Good to see him back in the back line. The senior leader as he floats it up to Fremerly. Just over his head, and Claremont gained possession right back. Well, let's talk a little bit about the man I was talking about during Claremont, Isaiah Alba. We were talking, me and you, Cameron, about the freshmen that have really stepped it up for Claremont. And to have someone that's in top 2 in assists as a freshman is not too bad.
It's pretty incredible, actually. I mean, you hit a nail on the head. He's number 2 in SCIAC for assists as a freshman, so only good things from him going forward. So we'll see how involved he gets in this game. Maybe he'll set up Abdi later in the game. But, yeah, a lot of freshman talent on both sides, Chapman and Claremont.
Both coaches really looking towards the young guys to gain experience, and by the time they're juniors and seniors, molds into some very good soccer players. We have a throw-in here on the near side. It's going to be a long throw-in. Right towards the near post. It bounces inside the box. Sean Augustine stayed back in goal, but caught it off the one bounce. That could have been dangerous.
Could have been very, very dangerous. Already within 4 minutes in.
Never like to see the ball bounce in your own box, especially a free ball like that. Augustine caught between coming forward and staying back in goal. Cannon Kuhn. Claremont doing a very good job of keeping possession here on Chapman's end of the field. That was one of our keys to the game.
That's right.
It's a through ball here and a foul, and that's inside the box. We have a penalty. Going to go against the Panthers.
It looks like we have
It's Marin Abdi.
Looks like he's a bit hobbled there, getting up.
Already sold the penalty, got the penalty called.
That's right. Did some pretty good acting. It looks like he's up back. It's all right.
And he's going to take the PK as well as we take another look.
Looks like it was a calf. Looks like
it was Connor Tobia with the foul. So here comes Marin Abdi, talking about him in the pregame. Game high 4 shots last game. Can he get himself a goal? He decides to go to the right of the keeper. And an early 1-0 lead here for Claremont.
costly mistake for Chapman. Costly mistake. You know, we said at the beginning of the game Abdi was going to get involved. Here he is, 1-0.
You thought he was going to be more dangerous in front of goal, trying to get a shot off, but he got the penalty with that nice run.
That's right. So that puts him at 4 goals on the season.
So Marin Abdi gets himself another goal. Came into the game with 3, second on the team, now has 4, now tied for the team lead with another freshman, Patrick Burke. And a senior. Again, these pregame talking points are starting to come into play. Seniors always seem to step up in these games and got his team an early lead. Here's Lichtenberg. Loses possession. It's taken away in the midfield, but the Panthers get it right back. See if the Panthers can get the ball forward and just keep some possession. Trying to do here on this back line. Here's Bells. Mattioni. Over to Rudick. Goes far side to Cannon Kuhn, who's trailing a little bit forward. Trying to go right side. Couldn't find Elliott Braun, but it goes out of play. It's going to be a Chapman throw-in. So your first time watching a Chapman soccer broadcast or any broadcast here at Wilson Field, you might notice that big pit on the far side. New science building's going to go there in the next year.
That's right. I believe it's a $150 million plus building. It's going to be beautiful.
A bad clearance. Elliott Braun's going to try to get to this one. Gets a head on it. Panthers get lucky and keep possession. Ready 1-0 here early on. Abdi with a penalty kick. But it's funny, we talk about that huge pit over there. A lot of cleared balls go in there. Construction workers find a lot of soccer balls there after game days. Grant Fremerly, the throw-in specialist. So this one in the 6-yard box. Try to be headed back by Mattioni, but gets to Fremerly. It's a weird bouncing ball. Goes straight up in the air. Can Tip get to it? It's going to be headed down by Claremont. They try to come back here on the counter. Gets around Bellison. Alec Kinsulo goes trailing out of play. But the job's done. They got the ball out of a very dangerous area.
Chapman's got to try and work on getting the ball to the Claremont side of the field.
Elliott Braun upfield. Here's Grant Fremerly. Tries to go to Elliott Braun. He falls down. Referee does not give him the benefit. Elliott Braun immediately threw up his hands. A little frustration here early on.
No call.
Remember here in college soccer, it's a countdown clock from 45 seconds. A through ball, trying to find Fremerly. Fremerly wanted the ball over the head. Didn't want a low through ball. Trying to get the kinks out early. Trying to feel each other out. It's an interesting starting lineup. We have Elliott Braun, usually a midfielder, but playing up top along with Fremerly. Here's Sanglin Benny. Gets it over to Tip. Tip looks for Bellison, who's very good going forward. Going to be tipped away by Claremont. Chapman ball. And this is their opportunity to gain a little bit of possession, put some pressure on that Stags back line. But nice turnover there by Crowley. Stays composed and pushes it to that far side. Linchenberg almost got his pass undercut by Cannon Kuhn. And nice tackle there by Cannon. Very solid in that back line. Used to him playing center back. Pushed back out to the right back. Now that Connor Tobey is back in the starting lineup. Kuhn comes forward. Very aggressive here early on is Kuhn. Over to Abdi. Plays it back to Johnson. Sanglin Benny making the run. Claremont doing a very good job keeping possession.
Defense is doing a great job for Claremont. They just can't seem to get it across the midfield there. It's been on Chapman's side for a long time.
It seems like every time the Panthers get it, it's that pressure that's being put on.
Immediate collapse.
Dangerous pass there. It's here early on, but could expect a very physical game between these two. Again, these two teams faced off against each other last year as Elliott Braun's making the run. Can he get to it? It's just a little bit too far. Oh, he gets past the defender. Tries to be cleared by the goalkeeper. Fremerly with the shot. Unlucky there for Elliott Braun. He was offside trying to get to the ball.
Almost had a great opportunity right there. The goalkeeper, Kui, was out and looked like he was down. And then had the offsides. Unfortunate there for Chapman.
It's a nice run by Elliott Braun. Couldn't quite tell if he was going to get to it, but using his physicality to get around the defender. Turnover here for Claremont. Jonah Tip gains possession right back. But it's very important for Elliott Braun to try to have himself a good game here today. Elliott, one of the vocal leaders here on this team. Here's Abdi with a shot running towards the Chapman back line. A through ball here to the left side. Going to be cleared away here by Tobia. And up to Gallus.
Definitely got to watch out for Abdi. He's hanging out in the center there. He's very, very aggressive offensive player.
Aaron Abdi not only does it going forward, but also gets some assists. Now actually leads the team in points with 11. His 4th goal on the season. 2 assists on the year as well. Ball goes up top to Burke. Burke tied with that team lead, a very tall player. So funny, I'm used to calling these games like in a press box. It's a little different when you're outside, wind's blowing.
Got the wind in
your
your
notes
ear.
flying around a little bit.
Using my keys as a paperweight.
Yeah. Very smart. You get those random gusts of wind from up here. Again, the field's on that bottom floor on the first floor of Wilson Field. 2nd story is meant for the stands, and the 3rd story is where the press boxes are. Just behind us, we can see the water polo pool, where all the diving and swim meets occur. Again, it's homecoming here this week, and I mean, just all week you've seen parents walking around enjoying Chapman.
Absolutely, and plus the inauguration of Daniel E. Strupa. Doty stepping down has been a huge event, so Chapman, a lot of stuff going on this week. Should be a fantastic weekend capping off the inauguration this week.
Pass it up here to Braun, who traps and heads it back to Gallus. Gallus looking forward. Tries the ball over to Fremerly. He was onside. Referee didn't put up his flag. Just couldn't get to the pass.
And we have a replay here. Ooh. Just kidding, we do not have a replay.
Very physical Claremont mud script. Couldn't quite get forward. Danielle Kui with that neon uniform. Here's Adam Singer. Abdi. All the way back here to the backfield. Let's try to float a ball forward. Mattioni keeps possession. And back to Augustine. Fremerly, a very fast player. Put a ball forward, see if he can run towards it. He almost did. Put enough pressure to where Claremont had to clip it away. Unlucky there for Fremerly. It went off his foot. He's trying to tip it back to himself.
Kui with a pretty big leg. Gets it over the half mark.
A foul here in the midfield. Panthers 6-3-1 so far this season. Coming off of a loss their last game, but have been on a bit of a roll. Won their previous 3 games previous to that, and including a very important game against Christopher Newport, a top 25 team that came here to Chapman, and the Panthers beat them.
Handily.
That might be a turning point here in the season. Marco Sanglin-Benny had himself a very good game, 2 goals in that weekend matchup. And a foul here, too aggressive there is Tobia. Free kick here for the Stags. But you can look at that as a turning point because the game previous to that, they had a very tough loss against Whittier.
Yeah, that was a brutal loss. Whittier second to last, 2-7 overall this year, and you have to wonder what happened. And we have a replay, I believe, of the foul that just occurred. And here you see. Oh, there it is, the tail end of it. A little bit too aggressive there. You gotta love it. They're playing aggressive. Chapman's playing aggressively. Just gotta keep the momentum going.
Michael Crowley with the low free kick. One more chance. Go sailing.
Would have got a field goal if we were in American football.
Might see that a little bit later here on tonight. We have our first substitution of the game. Luke Servanow is going to check into the game, the sophomore from Mill Valley, California. And he plugged in there to that midfield. Play the left midfield. Going back to the Panthers, a very tough loss, but then kicking it around. The last game they lost against Redlands, but that's another top 25 team and really the favorites to win SCIAC.
That's right. They believe they are in first place in SCIAC, so it's a tough game.
Redlands only one loss in SCIAC, 6-1 so far this season. Actually, that one loss coming here recently. They seem to have a hold of first place and home field advantage for all of the SCIAC tournament, but still, season's not over yet, still halfway point. And in SCIAC play, all the teams play each other once or twice, one at home and one on the road. Here's a cross from that far side. It was Gaulis trying to find Braun. But after this game, the Panthers will have played every single team once. And so now they flip. Every team that they played here at home, they play away, and vice versa.
Second half team, second half season. Still a good month left.
It's actually quite interesting. We can kind of say the Panthers, I mean, in the preseason, they were picked to finish second in the league to once again get home field advantage in the SCIAC playoffs, but struggling a little bit this season, 6-3-1. But last year they kind of struggled in September as well. I mean, they were 4-4-3 in September, but finished in October 8-1-0.
That is fantastic. Tale of two halves, and I know we kind of mentioned this a little bit in the pregame. Chapman had played 4 games in a week, so that is a lot of soccer within a short period of time. So that did have a pretty big factor on their season so far, but as you said, a lot of time left in the season.
And during that span, those 2 losses came. Elliot Braun going to put pressure on that defender. Oh, puts his body in front of the defender, and he falls down, and he gets the referee to call the foul. A free kick here for the Panthers just outside the box.
Very aggressive there by Braun.
You can see just the way he's playing, how much this game means to him right now. He's still only a junior.
And we got a replay here of the play from Braun. Pretty aggressive, as you can see. And way to put his body into it. 2 against 1.
Kind of shoved his way in between the player and the ball.
You got to love it.
Grant Fremley is going to be here with the free kick. Also standing over it, you have Zev Gaulis. Gaulis is starting to stray away. And here's Fremley. This one's whipped in, but too far away from goal. Elliot Braun tries to head it down. It's skied up here into the air. What team's going to fight for it? Who wants it most? Jonah tips in the middle of it. Falls to Braun. Flicks it up to himself. Sanglam Benny tips it. Fremley gets possession. Good job by the Panthers. Here's the long strike from outside the box. Sam Rudick said, you know what? Let me take a shot at this.
There you go. You know, just launched it. A little bit high, but pretty accurate, I'd say.
Sam Rudick, senior, so far 3 goals this season. She hasn't scored in quite a while. I think it's a 5-game stretch that he has scored. 2 out of the 3 have come on penalty kicks. We resume play. Panthers need a way, or at least show that aggression that they're going to be close to coming back here in this game. Sanglin Benny. And he helps his team win possession. Here's Elliott Braun. He falls down, and then the referee calls a foul. Tried to get away to the defender. Sanglin Benny wants the card. He did try to flick it around the defender, had some space. Referee is not going to give the card here in this instance.
A little bit delayed call there. Everyone was kind of like, what? Where was the call? And then he ended up throwing it up. So close one there.
Going to be in another very dangerous area, though, for the Panthers. Well, it looks like the referee was talked into it. And there's the yellow card. So Michael Crowley gets the card. Never seen that before. I've never seen a referee get talked into a card like that.
Some great persuasion right there.
I mean, he kind of had a point. I mean, he had some space to kind of run into it.
Here's the official replay. Had the tail end of it there.
See, I think that's a card too.
Yeah, I think it's well deserved. And he threw up his hands in the air and said, "Ref, where's the call?"
Took about a minute to think about it. Better late than never, though. They have a trio of white-shirted players above the ball. I think all trying to fight to see who's going to take this free kick. Zev Gallus, Fremerly, Sanglin Benny. Looks like Sanglin Benny is going to use his seniority to try to take this. Gallus going to be a little bit of a nuisance right in front of that wall. A good six-man wall here for Claremont. Here's Sanglin Benny. Just couldn't get the lift on it.
Chapman will get the ball back, though.
Less than 24 minutes here to go. A very early goal here by Claremont. Controlled that first 5-10 minutes, but it seemed like the Panthers have recovered here.
Absolutely, yeah. Chapman can try and get some shots on the goal, generate some offense. It's not over yet.
Grant Fremerly with another one of his long throw-ins. Just over the head of Mattioni. One more chance inside the box. And it goes straight wide. Looks like it was caught between a pass and a shot, but it looked like he tried to pass it and it went towards goal.
Exactly.
Kind of mishit it.
I think we have a replay here. We do. We have a little. There's the end of the kick there. Yeah, it looked like he was kind of like, should I pass it or wait, no, I'll kick it. Maybe I'll do both. And so came up a little bit short.
By the way, a big shout out to the new graphics that CSBN has, that now has. If you've watched one of our past broadcasts, a football broadcast, actually last week, CSBN had their old graphics, but now this is the first game we've been able to use these new graphics.
Brand new, gotta love them. Very crisp. Love a good crisp graphic.
Very up-to-date, modern. Here's Lorenzo Bellison. Fremerly, and it's going to be cleared away very dangerously into the Chapman bench. And we're going to get ourselves a water break here. I was actually going to talk about that. Both teams have a little canopy over their benches. So does the scores table. It's hot here. I mean, we're in the shade. We have water, everything, but down on the field, I heard it's very hot.
Yeah, the AstroTurf really heats up, especially on a sunny, hot day like this. So even though it feels probably 80 degrees up here, it's probably close to 85, 90 down on the field. So toasty one out there. You got the wide shot of the crowd. A couple of the parents up all in the shade. Doesn't look that busy, but everyone is up in the shade. It is a hot one today.
Yeah, I promise you, they're off camera.
They're off camera.
They're all trying to get that shade. It's a nice 86 here. Here in orange. And again, the first of many events here planned for today. Again, just looking right behind me, there's parents setting up and walking the campus. I'll tell you, the orange, or the circle, just right down the street, very packed as well.
Oh, cool. I've not been over there.
A little late coming in because of all the people, but guess I can't really blame the parents too much.
Exactly.
Both teams just trying to catch themselves a break. A very tough afternoon game here at Wilson Field. And the Panthers had themselves an opportunity here earlier on in the game, and it was came by the foot of Elliott Braun.
And here's the replay itself. This is earlier in the game. Again, this is that bronze shot. And almost had it. He just kicked it, looks like right, but Chapman had an opportunity there. I think they've only had 2 or 3 shots on the goal so far, so they want to really step up with those numbers, you know.
Actually have a couple of subs making their way in. Max Wilson, a freshman, gets his appearance here in this game. Trying to look down the line, Max Wilson, only 1 game played so far this year. And say I've done a lot of Panther soccer games, have yet to announce his name. Good to see him get some playing time here at Wilson Field. And also Daniel Malachiar, the senior midfielder, is going to have himself an opportunity here in this game as well.
I know, Justin, we mentioned the young talent that both these teams have. Just a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of freshmen, no sophomores. So it's good to see freshmen on both sides of the ball get involved in this great homecoming weekend.
And with the freshmen, you always have seniors there to help cater them, help mold them into the players they are going to be. Here on the far side, Sanglum Benny whips one in. There's one shot. Couldn't get the shot off there. It was the opportunity there for Ryan Godinez. Try to put his body behind the ball. Just too far in front of it. But a beautiful ball there by Marco Sanglum Benny.
Beautifully placed. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, convert on the chances you get. That was a huge chance. Just came a little bit short on that one. And here's the replay of it right here. Ryan Godinez was right in front of the goal. Beautifully placed by Sanglum Benny and just barely missed it right under his feet. Good attempt there by Chapman.
Ryan Godinez has yet to have himself a goal here this season. What a bit of big one. We just passed the halfway mark here in this first half. Godinez only 3 shots so far this season. Not much for going forward. Speaking of going forward, here's Abdi. But turning over the ball are Claremont. Chapman definitely have the momentum here. Malachiar running towards it. Going to be cleared away.
And I think of that little water break Chapman had, they said, you know what, we're going to get on Abdi. Anytime he gets the ball, swarm him, as you saw right there.
Keeping that possession are the Panthers. And I bet they're really glad that they have all white uniforms here today. Great composure there by Mattioni. A freshman starter for the Panthers. Jared Mattioni from San Jose, California. Done a good job in that back line. One of the few starting freshmen. It's actually, when we talk about freshmen, one of the players that gets the most recognition, as he's pretty much started all the games in that back line.
Huge addition this year to the Chapman soccer team and going forward.
Trying to find Sanglum Benny making that run. Coming forward is Tip. Come up with possession, though, are the Stags, and here's Abdi. It's a goal scorer. An opportunity. There's a great ball for Ryan Carl. Just too far out front in front of him. That's kind of what you want. You want a little bit of space to try to run up towards it. Just ran out of space. See a beautiful overhead shot right here. You can see that huge crane in the far distance.
I know.
Tell you, when it's actually people operating it, that thing's huge. So that's all one crane right there.
Wow.
Left side, here's Carl. Are they going inside to Abdi? Abdi has an opportunity here with some space.
And it looks like he was offsides.
Woo. The ball came right back to him.
See some of the Chapman parents are wiping their sweat there. That was a close one.
Would have put them up 2-0. Both would have come by Abdi. Sometimes in the sport, you get lucky. Falling down to Sanglum Benny, excuse me. That would have been an opportunity for the Stags to get really lucky.
And it looked like, all right, here we have the replay of the offsides here. So he had it and would have nailed it, but unfortunately the ref said no go.
It's actually, looking back at the replay, a lot closer than I originally thought.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Bellison was just right there. Just sagged off just a little bit. Speaking of Lorenzo, making the way forward. Max Wilson. The ball goes out of play, cleared away by the Stags. Long throw in and going to be headed out. Oh, just barely missed our first corner of the game. It's going to be a throw in. It's hard to tell because there's an umbrella right there blocking our view, but I tell you, it was about a couple inches away from that corner flag.
Good news is Bellison has a cannon of an arm every time he throws it in. It is a long one. Here he is throwing it in.
Up towards Mattioni. Can be headed away. It's still in some space. Daniel Malachiar!
And that's it. Money.
It went through all the defenders. Usually that ball's tipped away, ping-ponged out of there. It went straight through everyone and into the goal.
Malachiar with a goal on the season. Chapman with a great throw, and Bellison. And we have the replay of the Chapman goal here. Long throw in. It's ping-ponging around, as you said, Justin. And Malachiar's like, money. Boom, right through the defenders. Left side of the goal.
I don't know how that not only doesn't hit an opposing player, it doesn't hit one of his own teammates. It went through about 5 players right there. Daniel Malachiar, his first goal of the season, and only his 6th appearance this season. A player that's been very important in all 4 years for the Panthers. Played in his 60th game earlier this year. Been a very good contributor over the years. Played in a lot of games. Good to see him get himself a goal here in this homecoming game.
So now we have ourselves a pretty good game here, Justin. 16 minutes, 1-1. Both teams looking strong.
Subbed into the game, William Crespi. Excuse me, Cressim. Cresep.
Cresep.
The ball goes out of play there on the far side.
All about those proper enunciations, Justin.
Tell you, I did PA actually. Let's talk about this substitution just very quickly. Number 19, Luke Scalon, is going to make his way back into the game. But yesterday, I'm also one of the PA guys, and I did volleyball yesterday, and there was a couple of hard multi-syllabled last names in that game, so those are always fun. I should really get Cresep, though, so.
Cresep, our stage manager says, and I believe we have a replay here of the collision with Jared Mattioni.
Ball's going to go up to Daniel Malachiar. We'll get that replay here up in a second. Marco Sanglin-Benny, nice job by him. Keeping possession, keeping the ball in front of him. Daniel Malachiar, oh, nice pass here to Sanglin-Benny. Looking inside the box, Elliot Braun's there. Actually, that's Zeb Gallus. Braun's sagging back just a little bit. Actually, Max Wilson is up forward. Here's some space here. Godinez. Malachiar looking for his second. Couldn't get as much power as he got on the first one. A little bit too far out. It kind of dribbled back to the goalkeeper. Panthers. Usually you see a seesaw of different spurts of possession by both teams, but it's been all Panthers in the past 20 minutes. We're just under 14 minutes towards halftime. Abdi. Fighting for it up top. Carl couldn't quite get to it, though. And here's Abdi once again, this time out wide. Gonna run towards Tobia. Tobia did a great job to body the Abdi out. It's gonna go out of play. Goal kick here for the Panthers.
Abdi was trying to go on the outside, trying to make his way in. It's got some fancy footwork, but great defense by the Chapman Panthers right there.
And we have ourselves a substitution here. We're talking earlier about tough names. Yusuke Kobayashi. Not really that tough of a last name, but Yusuke, not too bad. From Tokyo, Japan. St. Mary's International High. Great tackle. Oh, the foul's going to be called on Marco Sanglambeni, and he can't believe it. Looks like he got a card. Oh, no, he did get a card.
Yellow card, yes, for Sanglambeni.
Marco Sanglambeni gets the yellow card, the second of the game for the Panthers.
Looks like he's talking now, wondering, ref, what did I do?
Let's see if he did foul him or if he got all ball.
Look.
Almost got those hips around the
Look.
player.
A bit of a tough call, but I see why the ref was saying, you know what, got to be fair here.
Questioning a little bit that yellow card. I understand the foul, but a tough call to get on a senior player who's very important going forward. Not the most physical player, so really no threat to get another one. The free kick going to be floated into the box, easily handled there by Sean Augustine. Sean Augustine, now the #1 keeper here this year. He sat behind Nick Berardi last year. The player that split time with Berardi last year and really solidified his place as the #1 keeper. You still have Matt Deemer making a few appearances. Here's Wilson trying to find, that was Malachiar, but just too far in front of him. Tell you, Max Wilson's had himself a good game here up front since he's come into the game.
And you talked about Augustine. The goalie matchup here today is pretty interesting. It's a Kui from Claremont against Augustine. They're actually number 3 and 4 respectively for save percentage in Sky. Kui has .769 and Augustine has .756. So pretty neck and neck. Both very, very good goalkeepers. They've obviously allowed a goal each today, but overall very, very good this season. So good matchup to watch there.
Substitution here for the Panthers. #2, Dan Friedman is going to make his way in for Sam Rudick. And also here for Claremont, you have Henry Fromm checking in for Muran Abdi. So Abdi's going to get his first rest of the game, probably through halftime. There's a foul here in the midfield.
And it looks like number 20, and that is Elliot Braun. Take a little second to get up. Got hit pretty hard.
Looks like we have a yellow. Couldn't quite tell who it was on. With a couple of players there in the vicinity.
I believe it's the 3rd yellow card of this game between both teams. So pretty physical so far.
Yeah, last game, both teams played against each other. 8 yellow cards, 2 reds, and 36 total fouls. And so we knew coming into this one that there was a little bit of bad blood between the two teams. Goes out of play.
2 red cards.
Yeah.
Wow, that is aggressive.
Game actually went into overtime. Panthers got a red card late in the second half, and then Claremont got one in overtime. Panthers came up winning 2-1 in that game. You want to take a guess who scored the game-winning goal?
I'm gonna guess Sanglambeni.
Close.
No, I knew
you were going to think of Marco Sanglambeni, and Elliot Braun was the man who scored the goal.
All right.
You know, I should have set you up better, a little bit better on that one. Talking so much about Sanglambeni
I
here
know.
early on.
I was so confident, but Braun is an excellent player himself as well.
Came up with the game winner, assisted by Lorenzo Bellison. So 2 players who are back again this year, connecting for the winner away at Claremont. So far, it's shaping up to be another close game. Both games 1 goal differences. And actually last year again, as this ball goes over to Ryan Godinez, nice little footwork there. There's no foul, and Claremont here come forward. And it looks like the Panthers have that under control. But Claremont, what I was going to say is, last year during homecoming weekend, first weekend of October, Claremont and Chapman played here at Chapman. So used to playing against the Panthers on homecoming are the Stags.
A lot of the Chapman Panther parents here are kind of wondering what just went on there between both sides. There are a couple of collisions that just went on. You probably saw on your screens. Everyone's good, though. Very physical today. Very, very physical.
That foul in that midfield. It's actually a stat that wanted to get off earlier, but Maran Abdi, who's on the bench right now, didn't have a shot in that first game last year. Already has himself a goal, but the Panthers really kept him contained. And I've seen him really kept him contained here in this one. Besides that goal and then that offside flag is really the only appearances we've seen by Abdi.
And obviously if it wasn't for that penalty kick, so far he's been pretty quiet, but nonetheless, always a factor when these two teams play.
Godinez falls down. You can always recognize Ryan Godinez with that
ponytail, man bun looks like.
I really didn't want to say man bun.
You know.
Well, but it is a man bun, respectively enough.
Respectively.
Some great hair, though. You can see, because the Panthers have their men's soccer shirts that they wear around campus, and you can always tell, oh, Ryan Godinez from afar.
And they have a replay here of this hit. Ooh, pretty physical there.
Zev Gallus. Good tackle because there was some space there for the Stags to go forward. Let's see if either team can get a goal right before halftime. The through ball just too far. Max Wilson. He's a freshman from Oakland, California, Bishop O'Dowd High School. Been very dangerous trying to get to the ball out wide. Nice passing here for Claremont. But the Panthers get possession right back. Malachiar. See if they slow things down. Mattioni chips it over the defender. Tobia. Dan Friedman. Sitting in that defensive midfield spot. He's a man that's been plugged in different areas. Malachiar with some space. This can be dangerous. Left side is Elliot Braun. He splits between two defenders, and it's deflected in. Looks like it could be a known goal on Claremont. Chapman doesn't care. They're up 2-1.
And Braun celebrating like he thinks he had the goal, but we'll see on the replay when we get it for you. But it looks like it was a little bit tipped, but as you said, Malachiar very dangerous in open space. And here we have the replay right here. Malachiar had a bunch of open space. He's going down. And yes, it was an on goal. Looks like it was number 2, Adam Singer from Claremont.
Singer, the right back for the Stags. I know Elliot Braun wanted to take credit for that one. If he would have been credited for it, it would have been his 3rd straight goal against the Stags, but I don't think he really cares. He's more of a win-first kind of guy rather than keeping those stats alive.
And Adam Singer, the freshman, is probably pretty upset himself right now for that on goal.
So what a turnaround here for the Panthers. Down 1-0 early. Actually, within the first 5 minutes, the Panthers were down. And when you find yourself down that early, you usually have a game plan change. Their change really has done wonders for the Panthers as they scored 2 goals and one right before halftime. a foul on Claremont. You can see that physicality once again starting to come alive. You know, both teams, I'm really looking forward to the second half, I'll be honest with you. They're both going to be trying to fight to try to get this game.
Absolutely. You mentioned Chapman looked a little bit frustrated at the beginning of the game. Now looks like Claremont has having their turn a little bit frustrated here in these past 5-10 minutes.
Let's go, Dinez. Claremont gain possession. Panthers keeping everything so compact. And talking to Coach Eddie Carrillo, actually earlier this week, I saw him at the women's soccer game. He's talking about how they've been struggling a little bit to score 2 first-half goals. I think he's pretty happy with the team right now.
Absolutely, that's generating offense.
I think he would come back with that saying, you know, it was an own goal on Claremont, but
so it was only one true goal.
One true goal, yeah. I think he'd be very happy that Daniel Malachiar was the man who got that goal.
Absolutely. Once halftime is over, we'll get some official stats, how many shots Chapman's had on the goal.
All those coming up at halftime. See the cheerleaders starting to file in here in the game.
Looks like those are new uniforms too, rocking the Homecoming 2016 new uniforms.
I'm gonna say CSBN, Chapman cheerleaders, everything's being supported new.
There you go.
Whole new Chapman here. So it's floated up. Daniel Malachiar had some space, just couldn't. The ball just wasn't high enough to get over the defender. Punt this one forward. You knew one team wanted to get a goal right before halftime. And so huge are those goals.
Really helps you generate momentum going into the second half if you have a statement goal in the last two minutes or so of the half.
Really, if you have a lead, you can really game plan towards it. Foul here. Stags don't want to be behind. See what they do here. So it's an opportunity for them to have a little bit of possession, or they pass their way into a goal. Or see if they'll float this one in. Only 2-3 players inside the box, but they're going to go with the floater. Sean Augustine comes forward and picks it out of the air. It's actually weird. The only player who was close towards it was Henry Frome, who's not the tallest of players, 5'8". Think they didn't want to put enough players forward. Here's a chance here. Max Wilson. Max Wilson just whiffed it.
You could tell how much he wanted it. He thought about the goal more than actually kicking it.
He's smiling a little too. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. That was great play there.
Great run, yeah. Panthers almost made it 3. Would have been a very tough save there for Daniel Cui. And there's a save by Friedman. And that's when Frome tried to go up and get to it. We have a substitution coming in. Ian Shelton, the 6'2" senior from Littleton, Colorado. Talked about how this is such an important weekend, not only for it being homecoming and not only for Pete the Panther, who seemed to be excited there on the sideline, but also Daniele Strupa, man who's the new president, the 13th president for Chapman, and he's going to embrace his Italian roots and try a PK here at halftime. And a foul here in the midfield.
That'll be awesome to see. You know, I love the word the Italian stallion. You may hear that for Jimmy Garoppolo, Patriots quarterback, but Daniele Strupo, I could see the Italian stallion. Tune in at halftime to see him do some wonderful penalty kicks.
And in the pregame little program, they said there's going to be a special giveaway. Actually going to be throwing away presidential inauguration soccer balls.
And there's a shot of Pete right
bad.
there. He's got one right there, as you can see it. Not exactly regulation size, but it's a lot of fun anyways.
Hey, I'm surprised he got a foot on that.
There you go.
Shoot, look at him. I didn't know Pete the Panther was such a soccer player. Maybe we'll put him up front for the Panthers. For the Panthers, close out the half with a goal within the last 10 minutes. Own goal on the Claremont. Adam Singer with a run by Elliott Braun. Tips it into his own net. And the Panthers come back down from 1-0 to lead at halftime 2-1. Anything you want to say before we go into halftime?
It's been a good half for Chapman. You know, as I said, winning the possession battle was huge. They really had control out of the latter 20 minutes of the half. 2 goals, even though it's an own goal. Great job overall. They got to keep this momentum up, in the second half to win this game. Such
an important game in the standings, as we have Sabrina Santoro downstairs. Let's see what the Chapman coaches have to say.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Coach Eddie Carrillo. Coach, obviously you guys had a bit of a rough start at the beginning, losing out on a goal in the first few minutes, but now your team has managed to really come ahead by the end of the first half. What does your team have to do to maintain that momentum and carry you through the rest of the game?
I think we just have to be calm. Just calm and stick to the game plan and just do the things that we do best, and then things are going to be okay.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Good luck with the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
And Coach Carrillo so right. He knew the strength of this team was going to be its defense. As long as they can keep calm, keep pushing forward, they'll get themselves a win here this week. And it'll be a big win here on homecoming. Let's see if the Panthers can keep the 2-1 lead.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. A diverse, well-rounded education. Art, dance, music, theater. Empower your future. The performing arts at Chapman University. Create.
Hey guys, I'm here on the field with President Strupa. He just participated in a penalty kickoff during our halftime, but I really want to know, how's your homecoming celebration been so far with your inauguration week and everything?
Fantastic. It's been a super week and a super weekend. Lots of excitement, great students, great to see the parents and all the alumni that are coming back. It's just a wonderful feeling, and there's a lot of love around campus.
And what about it being your inauguration week? What makes that different from any other homecoming week that you've celebrated before?
Well, this obviously is the most special week in my life. I mean, you don't get to become president very often, and this has been super special. The event yesterday, we had a marathon of special events with the inauguration culminating on the at 2:30, and it was just incredible.
All right, well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the celebrations.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Nice to see Strupo. Like, he seems very happy down there. It was a big day.
He's a great man, honestly. Just so much energy. You gotta love the guy.
There was his Inter Milan jersey. Got the Chapman jersey in his hand. Seeing his team come out with a 2-1 lead at halftime. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from the first half.
All right. And this was the starting goal. The very first one, that was a shot blocked, excuse me. And we have a bunch of action going on here. This was the wideout, and then here is, I believe, is the first goal. Bingo, right here. Sanglin Benny knocked it over with.
That was very close. Ryan Godinez. That was a goal, but called offside.
Offsides.
And then here we go.
Here's the big one right here. Malikara with the driller. That was the first goal of the game. Excuse me, for Chapman. And here's the other one. Malikara driving down. And it was the on goal by Adam Singer, the freshman from Claremont. getting down on himself. And that brings us to the 2-1 score that we have today. And so as you can see, it's been pretty close, I'd say, between the two teams. 7 shots and 6 shots. Lots of fouls on both sides. And then, of course, the one goal coming from Abdi, which was the penalty kick within the first 5 minutes of the game. So pretty close, I'd say, between the two teams, Justin.
Yeah, Panthers coming back in the game, making their presence known here in this one. We saw last game that against Redlands, it was pretty close statistically. And when you have a good game against a good team like that, teams like this shouldn't be too much of a problem, as the Panthers have shown in the later part of the second or the first half.
Absolutely, and if they just keep putting in hard work and they keep going after Abdi every time he gets the ball, they're going to win this game. They're putting in, you could see 120%. And as I mentioned at the pregame, that week of rest looks like it's really counting because they seem to be working real hard out there. So
yeah, especially on a hot day like today. It makes you wonder if Claremont are going to be a little bit tired going into the second half as the teams are starting to make their way back on the field. What do you think that the Panthers need to do in the second half?
Oh, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is just keep the offense going. You know, they had a strong position of the ball at the latter 20 minutes of the game. If they can just keep getting more shots on goal and playing the strong defense that they are, they're going to do great. And they're going to get this win on this homecoming weekend, which is much deserved going into the second half of the season.
It'd be a big win for them as they try to make their way up the standings. Let's see if they can get the 3 points here today. We'll take a little quick break, and we'll be right back for the start of the second half between Claremont Mud Script and their Chapman Panthers.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. History, philosophy, peace studies, languages. Study abroad and explore the world. Become a global citizen. The Wilkinson College at Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
The Chapman Panthers are the first team back on the field. Claremont, nowhere to be seen here so far here in the second half, but I bet they'll be right back out. Probably enjoying that air-conditioned locker room that they have going on.
Absolutely. Graphic said it was 86 degrees, and it's probably warmer than that down on the field. And there's Claremont making their way out.
Panthers in their pre-second half huddle. Everyone just talking out the rest of this half. Seems Sean Augustine being a vocal person in that as they try to look to keep this win 2-1, but still another half to go. We saw all the antics that occurred in that first half. Who knows what we have in store in the second?
Yeah, just a little quick recap since my little highlight reel wasn't the best. Abdi scored in the 4th minute on a penalty kick. Malakar scored in the 28th minute off of a goal. And then in the 38th minute, right before the half, it was an on goal on Adam Singer from Claremont, bringing us to 2-1. And again, a little quick recap there. And we said pretty physical game between both two teams. There's been 3 yellow cards between the two teams. One on Michael Crowley, another one Luke Scanlon, and another on our own Sanglin Benny. So 3 yellow cards between the two teams. Should be good. And the second half is about to kick off.
Let's see if the second half is as physical as the first one. Looking at the past results, I'm pretty sure we're going to have ourselves a good second half. All the games last year finished 2-1. Who knows? We probably have ourselves another goal or two in store as both teams are back on the field. Panthers are going to go from left to right. The Stags from right to left. And here we go for the start of the second half here at Wilson Field. Again, Claremont sitting pretty in 3rd place. In Skyac trying to hold on to a top 4 spot. Last year barely missed out on a playoff appearance. We're in 5th place, the odd team out in that playoff race.
The outside looking in, as they say.
And you have to think that has to be motivation when you miss it by just 1 spot. Makes you want to push harder that next season. Cannon Kuhn tosses it back to his back line. He's back in the game. We saw him get subbed out halfway through that first half. Sean Augustine's had himself a pretty good game, making some pretty good decisions, coming forward and grabbing the ball out of the air. Had that penalty kick. He guessed the right way, or he read the ball the right way, just couldn't get a hand on it. kind of hear the wind blowing once again.
I know.
It was dead during halftime. What happened?
Of course, that's always how it is. Up here on the 3rd floor. Beautiful, nice breeze though. Nice, cool breeze.
You know, Southern California residents are really enjoying this right now. We've seen a couple of days where it's been over 100 degrees here. Couldn't imagine what it would be like playing soccer in that heat, or even if we'd be playing soccer right now. Jonah Tip loses possession. You get those 100-degree days and windy rather than those rainy or any other kind of days. It's been a bit overcast earlier this week, but overall, pretty beautiful past couple weeks here in Southern California. We're here in Orange. If you're watching from wherever you may be, if you're a Stags fan or if you're a Panther fan, not able to make it here during homecoming, we welcome you here to Wilson Field. This is a special broadcast here, CSBN broadcast of the Chapman soccer games. It's actually, I believe, one of our first here with CSBN.
I believe it's our first and a doubleheader. Got football now and the American version of football at night. Chapman taking on Pomona Pitzer.
So if you just want to watch Chapman sports all day, CSBN has you covered. Grant Fremerly in front of his own bench, tossing it forward. Oh, Sanglin Benny was right there. Can he get a shot off? He turns around, lays it back to Malachiar. Back to Sanglin Benny. He wanted the foul. The foul went over the crossbar, or the shot went over the crossbar. Looked immediately back towards that referee, but a great opportunity there by Sanglin Benny to make something out of nothing.
Absolutely, and he actually kind of looks like he was kicked it back to Malachiar, who wasn't even ready. So almost there, and he, as I said, hit the crossbar, and almost a chance right there for Chapman.
Daniel Malachiar got rewarded.
And we have the replay of that play right there. As you can see, Sanglin Benny just fighting for that. Kicked it back to Malachiar, had no idea it was there, and almost off the crossbar for Sanglin Benny right there.
Marco diving a little bit, trying to get that foul, but still got the shot off. Panthers almost spreaded the lead up another goal. On this far side, laying it off. Sanglin Benny. Godinez almost had himself a goal in that first half as well. Sanglin Benny tried to cross it in. Too many Claremont Mudscript players there, and here they come on the counter. Abdi pass was just too far in front of him. There's a couple players over on that side. Just unlucky there for Abdi to not be able to get onto it. Daniel Malachiar with the nice first touch. Godinez. Sanglin Benny. It's a great ball there by Godinez. Turning the corner. Sanglin Benny has had a lot of touches here in this game. The shot from Jonah Tip. Elliot Braun gains possession. He wants the opportunity. The one bouncer into the hands of Kui. Marco Sanglin Benny, a guy who is third in goals last season to end the season. He had 9 total at the end of the season last year. All SCIAC first team as a sophomore and then as a junior here in his senior season. In the pregame, the preview before the season, he thought it was very important to get the senior class a SCIAC championship, and that's his goal for this year. You can see he really wants this game here as he splits the legs of the defender. Puts the ball between the legs, nutmegs the defender.
And I know you mentioned all the stats about Sanglin Benny, just a true leader on top of it. Just an absolute great leader for this team. Chapman's really going to miss him when he graduates next year. Fantastic player and even a better person.
It's the thing with college sports, you always have players coming in, and seems like just like that, they're seniors and ready to move on to the next chapter of their life.
In and out the door. Here's the replay of the play we just saw. A lot of aggression going on there, and don't know if it was a yellow card or not. But regardless, that was Chapman's own number 24, Connor Tobia. That was on the play right there.
Connor has the ball right now. See that left brace on his knee. Been dealing with a couple of injuries, most recently that concussion. And talking to coach Eddie Castillo, and we talked about Connor's injury and how tough that concussions could be. You can't do anything. It's hard to stay out in the sun. You can't run, of course, and you can't even be on a stationary bike. It's just one of those injuries that just keeps you out.
Very, very scary, yeah. And the injury plays kind of hit Chapman a little bit hard. A couple of concussions between the players, a couple of calf injuries. Nothing too serious, but, you know, enough to take a player out of a game or two, which is never good. So
yeah, Zev Gallus had a extended period of time, a starter here today. Cole Peters once again out, one of the important strikers off the bench. Oh, and Elliott Braun was not happy about the little push there by Elijah Linchenberg. Linchenberg kind of came out of his way to put a shove there on Elliott Braun. Linchenberg from Beverly Hills. You can tell who he is on the field by that silver hair, or
like
light blonde.
Beaming blondish hair, I don't know.
Tell you, there's a little reflection coming off of his head here in the third story. Kind of reminds me of Daniel Quees. Quees' hair has some pretty solid hair too.
It's a sheen to it, you know, glossing sheen.
You always like to appreciate the players who try something new with their hair. Tell you, it wouldn't really work too much for a broadcaster if I had that sheen look.
Don't know if it'd work for me.
Cannon Kuhn who falls hard. No foul. He gets right back up. Great awareness there by Kuhn. He kind of puts his hand up saying, I want a foul.
And it looked like, yeah, Elijah Linchenberg, they kind of threw the arm out.
Tell you, it's that defender's job to be physical. Here's Burke. It's going to be crossed in. Abdi, it finds his foot. He lays it back. Trying to go out wide to Alba, but just too far past him. Isaiah Alba, we haven't really seen him much. Second in SCIAC with 5 assists, and haven't really seen him whip any balls in.
Yeah, relatively quiet today, but still plenty of half left to go, so we may see him later on today.
Isaiah Alba from Woodland Hills, or just Woodland, California, not Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills is a city, right?
It is,
Yeah.
out in the valley. Pretty far away though, about an hour and a half.
Do you know where Woodland is?
Do not know where Woodland is.
See, when you think Woodlands, I kind of automatically connected the hills to the end of it.
Absolutely.
It's like when you say Beverly, you just don't say Beverly, California.
Exactly.
Just trying to cover my own mistakes here. Fremerly up to Malachiar, and they're actually going to call the foul. Fremerly, freshman from Maple Valley, Washington, in his junior season. Looking to be that man up top, start the season. Got the start here today. Falling hard, there's Tobia. Fell right on his shoulder. Play continues. Burke, he falls down, and the referee is going to give the foul. He's going to go over towards Godinez and kind of separate the two. Godinez just fell right on top of him.
And yeah, Godinez and Fremerly both were kind of in the mix there. Refs talking it out between the few players there. Don't believe there's any cards going to be given.
And here's one of those spots where you're kind of too far to lift it over the wall and get real power behind it. So the question is, what do the Stags do here? But first, let's take a look at the foul.
In the middle there, and pretty aggressive. That's when number 24, Tobia, went down. He got back up, though. You're right, landed kind of awkwardly on that shoulder there. Hopefully everything's all right.
So Crowley and Lynchenberg over the ball. Crowley the righty, Lynchenberg the lefty. Not the lefty. Crowley. Lynchenberg.
What a
red all the way.
Sneaky play there. That kind of did a cross thing going on. But Augustine was there to save the day.
I think Augustine knew that Crowley wasn't going to be able to get above the wall.
There's the tail end of the replay there. So it went left, but yeah, if you saw it live, they did a kind of a cross.
Ball's up. Very dangerous position. Augustine ran out of space to trail back. They're going to call the foul on Claremont.
I believe that was our first corner kick of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, now I think about it.
Yeah, a lot of throw-ins.
I just remember that one that almost was a corner. Had to be thrown in. I tell you, from where we're standing up here on the third floor of Wilson Field, we kind of have an open space. We're getting a lot of extra noise coming from campus. You have people singing, got music blaring from the distance.
Wind going on, there's all kinds of stuff. Inauguration week is very exciting here at Chapman, and homecoming week in general.
Abdi in the middle for Burke. Burke thought about flipping over the defense. Now he's going to try to force one to that far side. Finds Singer. Singer trying to find redemption from that own goal. Turns. Earns his team a corner. Quite a few Claremont fans here today making the trip over to Orange. It's going to be Lynchenberg here on the far side.
And here we have a replay of the kick out here. So, as Justin said, Singer trying to make up for his own goal from the first half. Put in some work. But Marco Sangamon is like, you know, I'm gonna play some stern defense on you. But that will be rewarded in a corner kick for Claremont.
Keep an eye here on Burke. He's 6'4". They go near post. And it does not go out of play. Heads up play there by Lorenzo to get it out quickly. He's not happy with it being headed back, or with the defense, to say the least. Ball steer here on this left side. See the players just trying to keep hydrated. See Nico Orienes about to make his way in. Also Zev Gaulis standing under the tarp next to Coach Eddie Carrillo. Looks like we're going to have that sub. Or actually, they stopped play. Referee's going to go talk to Abdi. We take a look here at the very Chapmanist day here.
And here's just some of the events going on just today alone. Had the brunch earlier today. And Dodge Anniversary, Musical Center Tours, that's our new building we just opened up. And of course, the football game is at 7 p.m. And that'll be the big one between Chapman and Pomona Pitzer. So lots of stuff going on this homecoming weekend, which is very exciting.
There we go. There's our first ball casualty over the fence.
And it goes into the pit.
It's actually quite funny. If you notice on that shot, or the over the whole field shot, that there's that huge structure here on this right side. I'll mention it once the Panthers get back on the other side. But I saw a couple of construction workers standing on top of that watching the game a little bit earlier here today.
Nothing like a good afternoon soccer game.
Especially when you have to work on a Saturday.
I know.
In this heat. Here's a free kick here for Lynchenberg. Lynchenberg gets this one over the defense. Augustine came and got it. Nice little run there by Abdi. Just couldn't get in front of Augustine quick enough. Kuhn with a nice ball, had to be deflected away. And speaking of ping-ponging around, that ping-pongs around for the first Chapman corner of the game.
As we said at the beginning of the game, always capitalize on your chances. This is an opportunity for Chapman to take real control of this game. And this is Chapman's first corner kick.
So we have Fremily coming out. Also Godinez. And also Daniel Malakar making their way out. But Nico Arianes, Zev Gallus making their way in. Also Jonah Tip. Here's Sam Rudick. Rudick back to Tip, back to Rudick. Just couldn't keep the ball down on the back pass from Tip. So see if Nico Arianes can make a difference here in this game. Nico from Sacramento, just went high.
And if you hear that behind us, that is the like acapella going on at Musico Center. That's the little background noise going on.
Promise you, as much as I want you guys at home to watch the CSBN broadcast, so you're gonna miss a lot if you don't make your way down here to Chapman. Keep talking about these festivities.
I know.
It's hard to not talk about when you're kind of engrossed around it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of stuff. There's the chili cookout that's going on this weekend too.
Goes on in the piazza. Just under 28 minutes left to go here in this game. Claremont keeping the ball here on this side of the field. Talked about how that possession kind of teeter-totters around. Seems like it's starting to lean more towards Claremont's side here in the second half. Abdi in the midfield, Crowley. In the center, Kensulo can't get her around Bellison, and he wins possession for his team. Bellison looking left side for Gallus. He has some space. Panthers getting forward, and there's Gallus getting behind the right back, trying to turn that corner. He cuts back inside. And this one's going to be cleared away. So the Panthers get forward and get players into a better position to try to keep the ball here on this side of the field.
Another lost soccer ball into the pit.
Arianes fighting for position. Ball's up in the air, and he'll let that one go out of play. Another corner here for the Panthers. Sam Rudick making his way over to the far side. Nico Arianes. Fresh legs, try to finish off this. I'm assuming he'll be in for a good 15, 20 minutes. Rudick. The corner, a very dangerous position right on top of that 6-yard box. Tip, thought about the shot, got tipped away. Falls LeBron. Back to the far side for Gallus. See, and there's that structure I was talking about. As Gallus cuts back inside, takes the shot, but wasn't on target. You can tell that he was meaning to take that shot right when he cut it back. Panthers have another home game after this one. Welcome in Cal Lutheran in just 4 days. They're going to say Claremont ball as Ken and Kuhn try to clear it away. But then a string of away games after that Cal Lutheran games. The next 3 of 4 will be on the road for the Panthers. And Cam, you were talking about earlier how the Panthers tend to struggle a little bit on the road.
Yeah, that's right. They're 5-1 at home, and they're 3-1-1 on the road. So, excuse me, 1-3-1, 3 losses on the road. So it'll be tough. They play Whittier and Occidental on the road. So you mentioned the Whittier loss earlier this season. They got to try and go back and really get that win this time around.
And Coach Carrillo knows that this is a very important stretch for his team, for these seniors to try to get back in the SCIAC playoffs. Panthers hosted their first SCIAC matchup, home matchup, or tournament matchup, I should say, in last year. They were the number 2 seed, but ended up losing to Laverne in that first match. Sanglin Benny gets behind the defense. Tries to stay with it, and he does. One of the shorter players on the field fighting his way through a couple defenders. Played back. Ball's played in. Godinez falls down. It's actually going to go out for a corner kick, headed away by the Stag defense.
Gotta love Sanglumini's effort. It was 1 against 3, and he just single-handedly kept that possession alive and got the Chapman corner kick here.
It's going to be tip. He had one on the far side here, now on the near side. Whips this one in. The far part of the box. It's flinging around. There Godinez is right there. So is Arienes. No one can get a tip on the ball. Elliott Braun applying the pressure. Gallus does too. Both of them miss, but Lorenzo Bellison gets the ball. He's very dangerous into some space.
And here's the replay of the last shot we just saw. As you could see, Kui just took it right out of the sky.
Unlucky there for Bellison, but a great tackle there by Tip. Here's some space for Sanglin Benny. Referee says play on. Sanglin Benny falls down, and no foul is going to be given. Still on the ground there was Jonah Tip, and he's still hurting. He's on the ground. Claremont does not play the ball out. They have the man advantage for the time being. Bellison tries to tackle hard, and he does. And they're going to have the trainers come on and look at Jonah Tip. He says he's all right, but let's look at this replay to see how hard this collision was.
Ooh, that was pretty big, I'd say. Yeah, it was number 3 there. Jacob Skull kind of almost laid him out there. Tip was slow to get up, but looks like he's all right.
Skull making his presence known.
I know, with a name like that.
Jacob, a junior from Solana Beach. I don't know where that is, but North Solana Beaches?
You know, actually I don't. Maybe down south, past Laguna.
Laguna's, I think, one of the top beaches out there.
Laguna is a top beach. I love Laguna. 1,000 Steps, beautiful place.
Also have Newport, Huntington around here. It's a free kick, but referee's going to come over here and talk to the referee as we have a stoppage in play. Carrillo's right there to listen to that conversation.
Still trying to figure out what's going on here. Ref's coming back.
You know, if anything, it's a little break for both teams, and I think both teams need it.
Absolutely.
We're in the final 22 minutes here in this game. It's only 1 goal difference. It's been the scoreline ever since halftime. Over the head of Braun. Going to be dribbled back to the keeper. Sean Augustine's going to let those precious seconds tick off a little bit. It's part of the game where you try to waste a little bit of time. And a foul. Actually, this one's going to be on Nico. A couple of parents not happy with that call. We get here later on in the day. It's 2:40 local time. It's usually the hardest part of the day. It's 85 out here now. Went up about 4 or 5 degrees since kickoff started. So when you're standing out there for a good 45 minutes each half, and then here at this half 25 minutes, I mean 85 degrees can take its toll.
That's toasty.
Here's Braun. Can Kuhn get to this one? Yeah, he can. He put enough pressure. Can he turn that corner? It's going to go out of play, and Cannon can't believe it. He made that whole run, and then just the touch went out of bounds.
Full-on sprint.
That was a great shot, by the way, by the camera guy over there.
I know, great shot there. Had Kuhn laying down. He thought he had it.
See, even he knows it's really hot, and the referee agrees. He stops play. Going to allow both teams to get themselves a water break.
And this is the replay of the Kuhn attempt there, trying to get it back into play. Good effort by him.
So close to keeping it in play, too. So we're going to take a look at the next few games. We talk about Cal Lutheran, but then there's that away stand right there.
That's right. The Whittier and Occidental games, both away. And then they finish up at Pomona Pitzer, so that'll be the end of the season, end of this month since we are in October. So a lot of good games coming up for Chapman. Again, they're trying to work their way back into the top 4 there.
I'm really looking forward to that Redlands game on October 22nd, and also that Laverne game. Those are 2 very good teams, both first and second in the standings, and both games that the Panthers are really trying to get points out of. That can really be a tough stretch for this team.
Absolutely, but as we said, they are both going to be at home, so hosting the number 1 and 2 teams may have a big factor here. It's a factor as of right now.
Little weather graphic right there.
85 degrees and sunny, a classic Southern California day. It will probably heat up, though, as we get closer in the afternoon here.
Seeing water being dumped on the head of Connor Tobia. Must feel really nice to get that ice water dumped on your head. Checking in for Claremont, Yusuke Kobayashi. Also Luke Scanlon. And also for the Panthers, Sam Rudick's going to come onto the field. We resume play. The final water break of the game. Referee allowed each half. This is a time that you kind of want the final 20 minutes. A little bit past halfway mark in the second half. Stay hydrated for that final push. And we saw in the first half after that water break, the Panthers were the ones who kicked it into that second gear. It's going to be interesting to see what team kicks it into that second gear here in the second.
Absolutely. Looks like ref's talking to number 24 there. I think it's Tobia.
Abdi. Tried to keep possession, but he couldn't head it back to himself. Abdi believing that Sean Augustine's taking a little bit too much time right now. Friedman. Bellison comes forward. It's a great foul there. And actually, he's going to get a yellow card for it. So the second yellow card on the Panthers. I'm going to say a great foul because Claremont could have gone forward and Bellison was out of position. I think the referee saw that as well, gave the card.
And that was the replay there of the yellow card. As you said, Justin, great defensive knowledge knowing that. That could have been a great breakaway. So put a stop to that. Hopefully the Chapman Panthers can get the ball back.
See if the Stags can get to this one. It's going to go out of play. But we're going to stop play just for a little bit. We're going to get a trio of subs making their way in. Sanglin Bainey's going to get a quick rest along with Nico Arianes and Elliot Braun. So we have Max Wilson, who made a difference there in that first half, Ryan Godinez, and also Daniel Malakiar, who himself really made a difference as well.
Had the goal. It's kind of like your quote-unquote 12th man, bringing into the game and try and generate some offense for the Chapman team here in the second half.
We always talked about the seniors. Who would have known that it would have been a senior off the bench with the difference here in this game?
They're all very, very close knit. It's something we definitely wanted to highlight. This homecoming game, last one.
Oh, and a turnover there in the midfield. It was Zev Gaulis who tried to make the through ball over to Malakiar, but went out, was turned over, and Claremont now have possession on their side of the field. Sturvin now realizes that his team needs to hurry things up. Falling down and getting the foul is going to be Marin Abdi. Has his face, or his hands on his face. It looks like he might need a sub. See how hard this collision was.
Here's the hit. Oh, man. That was number 13, Jared Mattioni. Just kind of stood there like a wall. And ran into him there.
It was kind of similar looking to what Jacob Skull did earlier in the game.
That's right.
Tell you, that's the job of the defender. If the forward has in his mind, oh, I have Jared Mattioni I have to run at, it's going to affect him just a little bit. Godinez is going to have a talking to by the referee. Sturvin now right next to him. This one whipped in. Mattioni heads it away. Malakiar is going to try to run at it. Stags keep possession, fling it forward. Chest it up. Sean Augustine comes forward. Defense has really been on the same page here in this one. Getting a rough start and some more physical play, and guess what? Another yellow card here in this one.
That is I believe the fifth of the game, excuse me. And here's the replay of that yellow card. Oh yeah, very aggressive there by, looked like, I couldn't really see the number. Oh, it was Jacob Skull, number 3.
We were just talking about him.
Just talking about him. Earned himself a yellow card. That is the third for the Skags, 2 for Chapman.
Remember, last time these two teams faced off, it did go into overtime.
Excuse me, 3 yellow cards for Chapman. Apologize for that.
This one skied in by Bellison. A lot of Panthers out of position. It's an opportunity here for the Stags. See if they can get forward. Third ball attempted, Abdi. And here comes another one. Are we going to have ourselves a straight red? Yes, we do. Marin Abdi. Saw 2 red cards last game. Thought maybe we'll get ourselves a second yellow here in this one. Nope, a straight red there by Marin Abdi.
And that is most likely your best player, Abdi, right there. We highlighted him in the beginning of the game. Had the only goal for Claremont. He is done with the straight red card. And here is the replay for that. There it is. Here we go. And to me, it looked like almost a headbutt when he got it. Yeah, kind of went right for his head. Elbow to the head. And that is going to send Abdi out of the game. That's huge.
It was right in front of the referee, too. Referee was looking at it all the way. So that might change things up. The Stags are still going to try to push forward. Get on the end of this is going to be Gallus. 2 defenders right in front of him, and they take possession away. Dan Friedman. Ooh, Malachiar putting that foot out. Looks like we might have ourselves another one. Or is it just going to be a talking to? For Malachiar is only a talking to. Or are we going to have ourselves another yellow card?
That is a yellow, and that we said was Malachiar, correct?
Very dangerous, as it was looked like it was in the hands of Kui.
That looked appropriate. So just right there, within about 3 minutes, we have a yellow card, 2 yellow cards, and a red card. So there's that frustration we were talking about between both teams, costing both teams pretty greatly.
So I believe that's what, 6 yellow cards now on the Panthers? Or 4, excuse me. Referee trying to keep just control of this game. 15 minutes left to go here in this one. The man down. Oh, the Stags going to be able to get the ball right back. Here's Gallus. He's going to go off that Stag defender. Another corner kick here upcoming for the Panthers. Daniel Malachiar went to go right up towards the ball. Kind of upset that he's not going to be able to take it. He's going to come out of the game. So Dan Friedman checking out. So is Daniel Malachiar. Sam Rudick and Grant Fremerly.
And Patrick Burke of the Claremont Stags is out. He is that freshman, lots of talent, has 4 goals on the season.
Fremerly and the Panthers almost kept possession there. It's up to the Stags to get something going. Oh, almost a nice through ball there, but Bellison got his head on towards it. Making that run, I believe, was Singer, who's coming forward. Making a run here is Fremerly. Looked like he could have caught it outside the box. It was very close there by Kui. Kui just standing there on the edge. Go the way of the Stags. Carl did a nice job going forward, nutmegging the defender, inching his team up forward a little. Michael Crowley. Sturvin now couldn't keep possession. Shoulder to shoulder there between Kuhn and Sturvin. Goes out of play, quickly thrown in. Under 13 minutes left to go.
You can sense kind of the pressure here for Claremont. They're really picking up the speed here, closing on the end of the game.
Question is, how much energy will they be able to exert here? you wonder how many subs are going to come in for the Stags, see if they can get some fresh legs in there. Lichtenberg be taken away by Rudick. Had the defender kicking at his feet, so a free kick here. Helps relieve the pressure being put on that back line for the Panthers. More parents still coming here in the game. 12 minutes to go. Guess more shade in the stand, so we're going to have more people filling up those seats.
More shade, more people. That is correct.
So Sanglum Benny and Elliot Braun, who checked out of the game about 10 minutes ago, makes their way back in. Then Alex Consulo comes in for the Stags. But a lot of these parents and students were at some of these sessions that you saw on that graphic earlier on.
That's right.
I know my mom was going to try to make some of those sessions.
Yep, my parents will be here tonight for the homecoming game and some other activities going on.
Tell you, if you're only going to go to a Panther home game once, come to the home football game, the homecoming football game.
I believe we have an expected audience of over 5,000 usually. We usually hit about 5,000 every year, so that's extremely exciting.
Can't wait to see what homecoming's like a few years down the line with that building across the way. It's going to enclose the stadium, make it even louder.
I know. May even need more seats by then. Who knows? More people coming to Chapman, more students, more family members.
And here comes another yellow card. Connor Tobia is going to get the card. Now the fourth one on the Panthers.
And that was Patrick Burke, the freshman, who went down, number 27. And we have the kick coming from, looks like number 7, which is Elijah Lichtenberg. And a red card actually came out.
Yeah, and our stage manager was telling us, you know, that's the second yellow. And we were thinking maybe that's a mistake, and nope. Connor Tobia is out of the game. And just like last game, both teams are going to be finishing with 10 men.
2 red cards between the two teams.
And like the game was physical, but you didn't think that this would be a 2 red card kind of game.
I mean, it has been though. I mean, a lot of physical aggression between both teams. You could see the frustration though, also between the two teams. And now here we are.
Something to be skied in by Lichtenberg, kicked away by Gallus, and cleared away by Fremerly. Now the question is, how do the Panthers realign there in that back line? Looks like Cannon Kuhn's going to move to the center back position. So does Lorenzo Bellison. You're also going to have Zev Gallus back there, and Jared Mattione is going to move out wide. Or maybe he's just marking Alex Cansulo, following him around. And yes, that's exactly what happens. Godinez takes the ball away in the midfield. Pass just right behind Fremerly. Let's see how both teams finish out the final 9 minutes. Both teams down a man. And you know, that's not what the Panthers needed. They had that man advantage.
Yep, that's right. I don't think either coach had planned for losing each one of their men, especially Claremont losing Abdi. It's huge.
So Claremont, if this, and they say no foul, But if this game stands as it is, 2-1, this will be the second straight loss for the Stags. You know they'll continue to move them down the standings. Both Pomona and Chapman right on their heels. You know, Pomona's a big fan of this game. Femerly gains possession. He's going to take this one to the corner. Smart move there by the upperclassman and gets the foul. So not only smart, but has the skill to gain the foul and waste some more time off that clock. But just looking here at the standings for the Panthers, Pomona Pitzer sitting there at the 4 position, Panthers sitting at the 5, and the Panthers play Pomona that last game of the season.
Might be the clincher, if you will, for either team. Claremont, of course, if the game as it stands right now, will be moving down.
The corner kick be off the shoulder of Sanglin-Benny. Making that run was Crecep.
And you can just see the exhaustion between both teams. This heat really becoming a factor in this game.
And they call the foul. Panthers are starting to become frustrated with these foul calls. It's giving the Stags more and more opportunities to go forward. And there's Elliott Braun.
That was just a frustrated move right there. Looks like the ref said, don't do it again. Got lucky, no card, but that was a bad move right there by Braun.
And one of the few players without a cards. Littenberg in the center to Johnson. Goes far side. Oh, nice cut inside there by Consulo. Passing it over towards Burke. Bellison gains possession. Burke tries a foul. Referee says play on. Bellison's gonna push this ball forward. It throws out a play, and Lorenzo frustrated with himself. But looks like we're gonna have a sub before we can resume play. And it looks like it's gonna be a defensive-minded player for the Panthers. Dan Friedman's gonna check in. Also for the Stags, Isaiah Alba, very dangerous player with some fresh legs to try to, or not fresh to say, but fresher legs.
Fresher, exactly. I had some pretty limited minutes today, and we mentioned him. He's number 2 in assists for Sky, been relatively quiet. There's still plenty of time left. We're about to hit the sub 5-minute mark left in this game.
It's the part of the game where both teams start trying to take, or at least the Stags start trying to take chances, send a lot of players forward. Here's Alba. Wouldn't call it desperation time. Burke tried to fight for it, but keeping his body in front of him, or between the player and the ball, was Mattioni. So Kuhn moves back to the center back position, and Friedman standing right in front of that back line. He and Sam Rudick, or Jonah Tipp, the two players kind of interchanging there. Panthers just need to keep possession. There's a nice ball over to Fremerly. I don't think he'll be able to get to it. And no, he does not. They're going to call a ham ball there on Sam Rudick. Looks like we're going to have another card. So he got a yellow card. I would say that was more accidental than on purpose. But
Yeah.
But we'll take a look here.
Here's the replay on the handball we just saw. And didn't really see it in time, but a bit questionable right there. I think that's a bit hard from the ref, but nonetheless, 3:53 left in the game.
Clock is still stopped. We'll resume play once the referee resumes it. There's a good 6 players inside the box for the Stags. A lot of Cardinal jerseys going to be headed across goal. Firmly clears it away. Really looking for that 6'4" forward, Patrick Burke. Panthers did a nice job to gain possession back, just trying to waste more time. Can waste a lot of time by clearing the ball away, a good 50, 60 yards. Skoll. Up towards Littenberg. Headed away by Gaulis. Stags keep possession. Friedman kicks the ball forward and keeps the ball in play. Forces the Stags to come back in a bad pass by Kui. And Fremmerly is going to be able to take his time here as Elliott Braun in the center decides to keep it. Friedman still with possession and gets tripped up just outside of the box, but not a foul given. And both players are down here on this right side. Writhing in pain there is Jacob Skoll. So is Fremmerly, but he's up on his feet. Looks like we're gonna have the trainers gonna have to come out, and we're gonna have ourselves another yellow card, but on one of the bench players for Chapman.
Wow.
Carrillo not happy. Kind of mean dogging the referee. But Jacob Skoll does not look good. He immediately went down.
And the refs, I believe, yeah, they're going to have to stop play. And I believe this is the original play. And you can't really see both of them going down. You could see the tail end of Braun going down. But that is all. Thanks.
They're going to have to make a substitution for him. Ian Shelton's going to make his way into the game for Claremont.
Kui is still waiting to kick it off.
As we resume the clock. 2:26 remaining. And Sam and Jonah Tipp's going to come in. Fremley's out. And here's Sam Rudick turning that corner. Almost had a chance to try to put it away. But the ball gets tipped away. It's going to be a corner. And you know the Panthers are going to take their sweet time here. Try to walk over there to that far side.
That was a great defensive play by number 20, Cole Mora. And I see him, he's on the far post there. Number 11 was Ryan Carley. He was the one on the near post when you saw that.
What does the referee say? Who's going to be last off of? They're going to say Panther ball. Some more time being wasted. It's going to be Sanglin Benny. Starting to make his way over towards throw-in. Referee's going to say offside. Sam Rudick doesn't like the call. So here might be the final chance here for the Stags to try to get forward. Can they gain possession? Bellison, the Stags swarm. Sanglin Benny made the run. Is it going to stay in? Yes, it does. Great hustle there by Marco. He followed it. Wasn't quite sure if it was going to stay in play, but followed it just in case and wasted a good 10 more seconds off that clock and kept possession. Braun, Sanglin Benny. Oh, gets it past the defender. Here's Elliott Braun. Over to Tip.
Nice pass.
Back to Friedman. Friedman with the shot. Kind of want him to take it over more towards the corner maybe, but decided to test his luck. So they're going to have a foul here on this right side. Quick throw in. Oh, and a high boot there by Patrick Burke. And he's frustrated, clears the ball away. Looks like we're gonna have ourselves a card. The Panthers said, you know what, that's all right. You're gonna waste more time for us. And that looks like to be the final kick of the game.
What a way to end it. The freshman Patrick Burke is like, you know what, I'm kicking it away. This is unbelievable. And that is the game, 2-1. Way to go, Chapman, with the win.
Don't want to kind of rub it in, but it seemed like that might be the best kick he had all game.
Oh no. Nail in the coffin.
Nail in the coffin. I'm sorry, that was pretty bad. But Panthers come up with a come up from behind win. A very sloppy start, gave off that penalty to Connor Tobia. Abdi converted, but 2 straight goals in that first half sealed the deal for the Panthers.
Absolutely. The second half was all defense. It was fantastic between both teams. A lot of cards, 2 reds, bunch of yellow cards. That shows just the battle between the two. And yeah, that's your final, 2-1. Chapman with a great win, trying to pull themselves back within the top 4 of the playoffs.
You have to say, for these good teams to come out in a huge game like today, they're struggling here in the first half, but still got the win here today. It was a win that they needed to try to keep moving up those playoff standings. Marco Sanglambini, Daniel Malachar, those seniors want another chance at Sky Redemption, and it looks like they're another step closer after today's win, and you have to be proud of them.
Absolutely, and a great win here on the homecoming day. We had a lot of Chapman parents came out toward the end of the game. More shade, more people, as we say. And it was a great win here for Chapman Homecoming. And part 1 of our two-show broadcast today here on CSPN. Football later today. Yeah,
everyone here is going to stay in place. Maybe I have another couple slices of cold pizza. Should be a good one. Getting actually kind of thirsty, so I might need another water later on. But you know what? A great victory. Stay with us, too, because we are going to have an interview down on the field. You know, both teams have that cool down period towards the end of the game, so we'll let them have that. But let's talk a little bit about the play of these seniors. Both were really good. Elliot Braun, really good. Marco Sanglambini, really good. And hopefully for the Panthers football team later tonight, it'll be a couple of seniors or maybe upperclassmen as they're setting up the festivities out in the piazza.
Absolutely.
A lot of things going on there. I mean, we talk about it so much. And see, look at all that. It's beautiful out there.
Absolutely. And it looks like they're just getting ready for the chili cook-off. Great shot there, and before we went to this one, we had a shot of Malachar. I mean, in my opinion, he kind of saved the day for Chapman, got the goal, and it was just a fantastic day. There you see the Chapman team clapping it away. Great win today on homecoming. You know, props to Claremont for just a very hard-fought game by them as well. So both teams did very, very well today.
Yeah, give it up to the Claremont parents because they made a lot of noise here early on.
They came out.
Didn't know who was the home team in the first 20 minutes.
Exactly.
But the Panthers, look at all those happy faces there out on the field. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure for them to come out and get this win here today. And they really did show up. I know Sabrina is going to be looking for an interview, and it's a pretty good guess that she has Marco Sanglambini down on the field. So when they're ready, Marco, see what Marco has to say. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Hey guys, I'm here with Marco Sanglambini, a senior on the team. Marco, obviously it was a tough game today, but you guys really managed to pull through. What do you think about your team's performance today?
I'm really proud of the guys. I think we all stepped up for a big performance today. We really needed to win, and we did whatever it took to get the win.
Awesome. And you were Athlete of the Week 2 weeks ago, I believe, and you've been all over the ball today. You've been a big part of your team dynamic. So what are your goals for the second half of the season, also your last season here at Chapman?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do as well as we were hoping in the first half, but we're still in a decent position. So we just want to take it one game at a time for the second half, and our goal is to make it to the SCIAC tournament, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Marco!
All right, thanks, Sabrina. And I really liked what Marco had to say. You know what? If you're a senior and you're a leader, you have to admit you didn't have the greatest of first parts of the season, but he even said they're in a great position to try to go forward.
Absolutely. You know, he hit the nail on the head. You know, and looking at the standings, Chapman now is 7-3-1 overall. They're 4-3-1 in conference. This is the time right now. They have an opportunity to really move forward. They play Cal Lutheran at home again next week. And again, you said it, tale of two halves, second half of the season, this is their time to move up in the standings.
Panthers gain a very huge win. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with the post-game highlights, and we'll preview that Chapman football game going forward. We'll see you right after the break. Chapman win 2-1.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead.
So the Chapman Panthers win themselves a close game coming from behind. They're down 1-0 early. Now win today's game 2-1. As we welcome you back to the third story of Wilson Field. See the sun starting to come out just a little bit. Our shade's starting to run out, but it's all right. It was a good game here today.
Absolutely. It was a great victory by Chapman, 2-1. Malachiar just showing why he's the senior coming off the bench. Saglin, of course, did fantastic. Huge red card, though, for Claremont against Abdi within the second half there. But overall, great win by Chapman. They got to keep this momentum going forward to the second part of the season.
And even going back to the other red card for Connor Tobia, red card means like 1 game suspension, so he's going to miss that next game coming up here for the Panthers. But you know what? Let's put that to the side. Panthers win themselves a good game. Let's take a look at the highlights for today's 2-1 lead. And the first one here for the Panthers, Elliot Braun getting behind the defender. This was the first real chance of the game for the Panthers. And this one where the Panthers and Abdi almost got another lucky goal in their favor, but it was called offside. And here was the first goal for the Panthers. Daniel Malachiar put his foot on the ball and hit it hard, let's just say, and it got through the defenders. Daniel Malachiar once again creating another chance. Elliot Braun trying to get through the defenders, and this one's tipped by their own defender, Claremont. Give up the second goal. This one, we have Sanglin Benny with another opportunity. He skied that one, but Sanglin Benny also had himself a very good game.
Off the crossbar.
But then we had a very physical game here today. Daniel Malachiar just trying to gain an extra advantage. The physicality coming into play once again. 2 red cards in this game and a ton of yellows. And here's the final opportunity for Claremont. Just out of reach for Claremont. And that was the final chance for Claremont, and end up going down 2-1. Claremont lose their 3rd game of the season as we take a look at the final game stats.
And so bunch of shots on goal, as you see, 12-15. Pretty parallel, though, across the entire side. And then a bunch, again, the fouls, 22-16. So Chapman playing very, very physical. And, yeah, the 2-1 score was great, and we're looking forward to next game.
Panthers go to 7-3-1, 4-3-1 in conference. The Stags fall to 7-3 overall, 5-3 in conference. So that does it for the moment being. Later tonight, we do have football against Pomona Pitzer. Be sure to watch that one tonight at 7 p.m. If you can't watch the broadcast, try to come down here to Wilson Field. It should be a good one here today. Any final words?
It's going to be a great one. You know, Chapman football is always a lot of fun to watch in homecoming. Crowd expected of above 5,000. A lot of activities going here at Chapman. It'll be a lot of fun. And Chapman is looking to continue their win streak from last week to this week and going into conference play.
So for me, Justin Maestas, Cameron Backstrom, and everyone here with the CSBN crew, we thank you for watching today's matchup here at Wilson Field. Want to watch it again? Go on YouTube, or if you want to watch a game live, stay here for at 7 p.m. Chapman win 2-1, trying to climb up the SCIAC rankings. Good day, everybody.